guys, today we are going to do some seafood. In particular, we are going to cook up some shrimp. And this is one of my favorite recipes. And this is a very classic Cantonese dish. It is called 椒盐虾, which means peppery, salty shrimp. Like I said, this is a very classic Cantonese dish. It is a crowd favorite because this dish really highlights so many different types of textures and flavors and aromas. When people describe this dish, they typically will say it's crispy yet tender, it's aromatic, spicy, sweet, savory. So pretty much all the flavors and aromas you love in food will be had in this dish, and this is what we're going to use as ingredients. We have 3 stalks of green onions. We have some green chili peppers. I would actually recommend using jalapenos, guys, if you can take the heat, but if you cannot, some regular green chili peppers will be okay. I have some sweet peppers as well for some color. I got some onions for that nice toasted onion flavor. We have about a dozen large shrimp. I typically would like to make this recipe with shrimp with their heads on because I think the shrimp head actually adds a lot of flavor, but this is still pretty good. Now, I think this dish, you need to have shrimp with the legs. I mean, you might think I'm crazy, you might have never tried shrimp legs before, but trust me, after you cook this dish, the shrimp legs might be the tastiest part of the shrimp because it becomes really crispy and peppery and just, oh, it's so good. It's like a shrimp cracker. As I'm talking, my mouth is watering. So I would really encourage you, get the shrimp with the shell on and make sure you get the shrimp with the tail still attached. Of course, if your shrimp is not deveined, make sure you devein the shrimp. I bought mine already deveined, so I don't have to deal with all that. And for spices, I have here, and this is something I made. This is called 椒盐, which is the 椒盐 part of the 椒盐 shrimp, which means peppery and salty. And this is a very common spice used to stir fry or cover fried foods. And it's really just comprised 1 part 5 spice, 1 part black pepper, 1 part white pepper, and 1 part salt. So you can make this at home. They also sell these in Chinese grocery stores, but you can make it just as easily. We got some salt, cooking wine, of course some garlic, and you're gonna need a lot of oil to fry the shrimp in. And you need at least enough to cover all the shrimp because the first part of this cooking process, we will be frying this thing up nice and crispy. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna marinate the shrimp. And the only thing we're doing is putting it in a bowl, and we're just adding about a tablespoon and a half of cooking wine and about a teaspoon of salt. Give this a little mix. I got 15 shrimps in here, that's fine. That's just what I had in my bag, so I'm just gonna cook all of them. All right, then we're gonna let this sit and marinate for about 10 minutes. While we're waiting for the shrimp to marinate, we're gonna deal with our veggies. I have right here about 6 cloves of garlic. You don't need this much. I think this dish tastes excellent with a lot of garlic. So 6 cloves, I'm just gonna smash them up and just dice this up real nice. We're gonna take our scallions, chop it into sections, set it aside. If you have jalapenos, just chop it straight down and so it forms little circles. I'm gonna keep the seeds because I want a little heat. Now I'm using about 2.5. You don't need to use this much. And then I'm just gonna chop 1 orange and 1 yellow and 1 red. I'm just gonna chop 1 of each just to give it some color. And we're just going to use about half an onion. That was such a touching moment with the onions. Alright, I think the shrimp is done. And now I'm just going to take them out and just put it on a paper towel so they can dry off a little bit. Now I'll take some cornstarch and I'm just going to coat this over every single piece of shrimp. So toss it in there, coat it. And I'm just getting cornstarch everywhere. It's okay. It's all going in the same pot. It's all good. Now that all my ingredients are prepared, bring on my stove and my oil. And we're going to heat this up to about 6火7成, which means 60 to 70%. So 100% being the hottest it can be, 60 to 70%. And you can tell typically by using a bamboo skewer. What you do is when you stick it in, if there's no bubbles, obviously It's not even warm enough. When you put it in and you don't see bubbles start to swirl around the stick right away, but after maybe a couple seconds, bubbles start slowly forming. That's about 50%. When you stick it in and bubbles start forming right away, that's about 60. 70 to 80 is pretty vigorous. Of course, 100% this thing just bursts into flames or something. But about 60, 70% is what we're going for. And we're only gonna fry it on each side for about 1 minute. So this is how we're getting the crunchiness to this dish. And it's really, really pretty when the shrimp fries up, when the outside becomes really crispy. And this is what I'm talking about with the little shrimp legs, the little shrimp crackers I was telling you guys about. You'll see what I mean. And while we heat the oil up, I have a plate here that I'm gonna put paper towel over to catch all the shrimp when it comes out. And what you'll want to do as well is have another wok ready to go, because what that wok is going to do is going to stir fry everything after the shrimp comes out of the oil. So I have this wok back here that I'm going to pour the oil into once I'm done frying. And then this thing will do all the stir frying after that. And of course, make sure to have your jiaoyan mixed already. Alright, I see bubbles start to form when I put the bamboo skewer in for about half a second. So we're about 50-55% right now. And really, this is how Chinese people measure the oil temperatures. This is how we do it. Because, you know, we didn't have oil thermometers back then, but we sure dang had a lot of bamboo. So 60-70% is what we're looking for. As soon as the bamboo stick goes in, a lot of bubbles, not vigorous, but still a lot of bubbles. That's what we want. Okay. I think we're good. Just be careful putting the shrimp in. I got this big long chopstick, so I don't have any problems. Remember, each side about 1 minute, and this thing will be donezo. And the ones on the bottom, you can just leave them there because obviously they're completely submerged in oil. So we're just gonna flip the ones that are near the top. Okay, pretty much good to go. Take it out. Place it on the paper towel. It's okay if they're sitting in there for an extra 20 seconds or so. Not gonna kill it. Okay, now you can see, check this out. Super, super crispy. So little legs I'm telling you about, it's gonna nibble on those legs later. Little shrimp crackers, nice and crispy. These smell so good. Alright, I dumped most of the oil out, but I kept some in here. There's also little bits of shrimp pieces in here, which I want to keep. That's why I'm dumping the oil out and keeping the same wok. I still want that nice shrimp flavor. Heat on high. Really quickly, garlic, onions, pepper in. Stir that around. Get that garlic flavor nice and amplified. Beautiful colors, right? Scallions go in. This dish, after you fry the shrimp, comes together really, really quickly. Shrimp goes in. And we are going to put in a couple of teaspoons of the seasoning we made. You want to get it where every single part of the shrimp is touching that nice seasoning. And to serve it, what you can do is line the shrimp all up. There you go. Okay, time to eat. Oh, it smells so good. Listen to this. Little shrimp crackers I'm talking about. Them little legs are so good. And also the thing is, if you want this dish to be more crispy, just tons of crispiness, don't cook this much vegetables, okay? Just cook a little bit. If you don't want any vegetables, just use some garlic, and that's it. Because the vegetables, it will release some moisture, and it will make the freshly fried shrimp less crispy. But I like it this way. I like the vegetable flavors. I like what it brings to the shrimp. So I sacrifice a little crispiness for more flavor. Oh, that is so good. Oh man, oh. Shrimp is sweet, perfectly seasoned. Love the spicy, peppery flavor. Look how pretty that is. The outer parts of the shrimp, crispy, so juicy and tender. This is my favorite, the little legs right here. Seriously, nibble on these legs. There's so much flavor. Those legs are just grabbing all the spices and holding onto it. I'm just gonna add a little bit of chili pepper to my shrimp. Oh, balancing act right here. Oh my gosh. Don't forget about the veggies. Treat it like a little shrimpy dip here. Anyway, go try this at home. This is such a great seafood recipe. It just turns boring old shrimp with some butter sauce or cocktail sauce. This completely changes all that, and it adds so much more depth to this wonderful ingredient. All right, guys, that's it for me today. Thank you so much for watching. Until we cook again, I'm gonna go eat. I'll see you later.